If you're watching this video, you're about to make a decision that will fundamentally change how you make music forever. It'll change how you work, it'll change how you collaborate, and it'll change who you collaborate with. Picking a DAW is probably the most important step in your musical journey. So I'm here to make a video on my top 5, and I'll break it down into a category by category section so that you don't have me go, oh, it's a good DAW compared to this other DAW. It will be a real reason to go for that DAW. You can either skip down below to the category that best reaches you, or you can stick around and we'll explore all of them and you'll get a balanced comparison across the board. So let's get started. We're going to look at 5 DAWs. Let's just jump right into it. So starting with our first DAW, if you're running a Mac, you absolutely should be running Logic Pro. No doubt about it. It is a incredibly powerful DAW with so many great features. It is up there as one of the most industry standard DAWs that exists ever. It's proprietary software, so it's super well optimized, really up to date, and it is just one of the best DAWs. The price of Logic is £174.99, which dollars are on screen now. I think you'd be silly not to go for Logic if you're running a Mac already. So hot off the tails of Logic, this one will come as no surprise. If you're on a Windows PC, scoring to picture or scoring orchestral things, you absolutely should be running Cubase. Would probably help if my face cam wasn't in the way of the logos. So yeah, you definitely want to be running Cubase. It's so unbelievably detailed, complex and powerful. You will definitely not regret jumping into it and learning it now. If you don't learn it now, you will probably, if you're running Windows, you will probably have to learn it later in your career. And whatever you learn right now is what is going to be most comfortable with you forever. One of the problems with Cubase is that it is quite bloody expensive. At £499 for the Cubase Pro version, it's a bit of a struggle for a new starting composer. What I will say is definitely take a look at the competitive cross-grade pricing. If you own any of these, then you can get a fat discount off your Cubase Pro. The other thing I'd look at, other than education discount, which is another great discount, is look into buying equipment that comes with a Cubase Elements license or Cubase Lite license. So some equipment like workstations and keys and that kind of thing, and even sound recorders and that kind of stuff, will come with a free license for Cubase Elements. And usually there is a really good upgrade deal from Elements to Artist to Pro, or from Elements to Pro. And that happens usually every year or every couple of years. So keep your eyes on it like a hawk. Some will also, some pieces of kit will also come with a trial license for Pro, and that is a really good one to jump on as well. So up next on the list is the low to no budget category, and absolutely the winner here is Reaper. You've probably heard of this one before, you've probably seen this one before. And it really is one of the most powerful DAWs out there. It's one of those ones that is a complete underdog. It has everything you need. It's basically ripping the exact same things as Cubase and Logic have, but it's doing it at a super low price of $60 for a discounted license. And then you upgrade your license as and when you need to. You don't have to jump straight into things with something more expensive. It's also one of those ones where you can download and evaluate it with a trial. It's a 60-day trial. You'll find loads of elitists who use Cubase religiously or use Logic religiously who have now changed to Reaper because it has everything they need and it doesn't cost you anything to upgrade every year or that kind of thing. Definitely jump into Reaper, check it out. It's free for the first 60 days and it's less than $100 and it's the cheapest one on this whole list. So jump in, that's what I would say. Absolutely. So up next is a DAW that's near and dear to my heart. And this is something that if you have a pop or electronic background or you want to make those kind of music, then you can get no better, in my opinion, than FL Studio. FL Studio is one of those fantastic DAWs that does a hell of a lot, but has its own lane. And I find that even in like orchestral composing, and I work in patterns, I work in making chunks and copying chunks and changing them and tweaking them. And no other DAW gives me the same satisfaction of placing these patterns. Basically, I can outline a prototype of a whole idea by making one pattern, copying it a load, and then slipping in different slots everywhere I go. So I can very quickly go from a sketch and a very quick mock-up to something more fully fledged. And yes, you can do similar things in Cubase and you can do similar things in Logic, but in this particular case, I think the way it works for me is just so much more comfortable. And that's why it's one of my favorite DAWs ever. It's what I still use when I'm making quick tracks. And it's what I still use for my electronic music as well. So definitely worth checking out FL Studio. FL Studio is broken down into loads of editions. You probably want to start with Producer Edition. This Fruity Edition is a little bit naff. I wouldn't really bother with it. So you're looking at an entry price of $153. That's always on sale as well. So keep your eye out for it. I'm sure you can get a good deal. Okay, coming up on the final DAW, the fifth DAW, is one that is so good for the experimental and the playful. If you want to try out interesting sound designs, interesting synths, and really make some interesting music, then everyone who makes interesting music uses Ableton Live. Ableton Live is absolutely insane with the amount of stuff it can do. It's got so much capability when it comes to effects and synths. It's got loads of really insane built-in plugins, built-in loops, samples, everything. It's super good at everything it does. And it's definitely worth having a look at if you kind of like to experiment and you want to make some interesting, cool sounds. It's also really good for the electronic kind of producers out there as well. So the standard price is £319, but they also have an intro price, which is kind of like an essentials collection, very stripped back in features, for £69. And what's worth noting here is that this isn't quite as bad as the NAF FL Studio £69 version. This is an actual fully complex DAW. With audio tracks, MIDI tracks, that kind of thing, everything that you need with very few limitations. I would definitely, if you're gonna look at Ableton Live, try and pick up the trial. You can do a full free trial up in the top right of the website, but for 90 days, wow, holy shit. But also what you can do is they also do kit discounts. So if you buy a piece of equipment or a piece of like a MIDI keyboard or a MIDI controller, a lot of them will come with a free trial or a version of the Essentials collection of Ableton Live. It is one of those ones that everyone wants to get their hands on, so there's usually very good deals for it. You will be able to find it for cheap. Definitely have a look. It's worth having a crack because it's a really amazing piece of software. And it's what everyone I know who makes really interesting and really crazy music makes with Ableton. So they're my top DAWs, but I am going to throw in one more as a little bonus. And this is for the people who have no time to learn a fully new software, no time to think, and you want to just make music. Absolutely Mixcraft is the one to go for. Mixcraft is one of those pieces of software where it's designed in its core to just make sense. You will struggle with nothing will get in your way, and you can just start recording, start composing, start laying out patterns, everything. It has it all. It has a lot of the features, and make sure you check whether you're looking at Pro or whether you're looking at recording. It has a lot of the features that you'd expect, has some really cool extra features that you perhaps wouldn't expect, but it is absolutely fantastic for someone just getting started who wants something super easy to learn, no learning curve, and just wants to jump in. So Recording Studio 9 is $75 and Mixcraft Pro is $150. I'd say start with Recording Studio if you're interested. Have a little look at what the features do and make sure that you're getting enough for your money. I wouldn't necessarily personally jump on the $149 version because I know that there are other better softwares out there. But Mixcraft is so easy to pick up and so easy to use. It's not confusing and it's good fun. So there you go. They're my top DAWs, top 5.5 DAWs. Do I think you should jump on any of them without fully researching? Hell no. Do I think that this is, as I said in the intro, one of the most important decisions you can make? Absolutely. If you select a DAW, you can always learn another one, but you will never have the same aptitude as you have with your first DAW. I would personally say that when I picked FL Studio, I think I didn't know what I was learning. I didn't know what I was actually making as a decision. And now I struggle to learn new things. New DAWs. So I've moved to Cubase for my picture-based scoring, and I'm competent. I can use Cubase, but it takes me probably 1.1 times the amount of time to make anything than it does with FL Studio. So really think about it. Make sure you're picking the one that you want to do. If you've got a little extra money to hand, jump on one of the better ones, one of the ones at the top of this video. Otherwise, the cheap and the free don't necessarily mean they're going to be bad. Mixcraft and Reaper, and even I suppose Ableton, the smallest version, are really, really powerful pieces of software. And if you're looking to just make music, then you can get no better. It will help you just make music. So I hope you've enjoyed. This has been a bit of a rambly video. It's a super important topic, and this video is more to kind of guide you towards the right ones rather than tell you which are the best ones. So find the right DAW for you. You can use any DAW and you will never have any problems, because the only thing that matters is that it makes making music easy for you. So there you go. That's me. See you in the next one, I suppose.